Hey friends, this is Serg with ecoSPEARS at the Edison Awards in beautiful Fort Myers, Florida. Again, another year for us here for ecoSPEARS, being honored for this prestigious event. And I'm here today speaking with Frank Bonafilia, the Executive Director for Edison Awards, the ringmaster of all this extravaganza that's going on, and what an incredible event. Frank, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, and then we'll get to the Edison Awards next?
Yeah, Frank Bonafilia, I'm the Executive Director. We moved the Edison Awards here about 3 years ago. We always believe that there's an opportunity to really showcase some of the top innovations from around the world, but also inspire the next generation of innovators. So what you see here today is about 500 companies from 23 different countries and all sizes of companies, from startups to some of the largest companies in the world. And if I'm correct, this is the third year for ecoSPEARS winning an Edison Award.
Third year.
Third year.
Technology.
Third out of 4 since we've known each other. So our steering committee really thought a lot of what you're doing at ecoSPEARS.
And actually, this is actually 4 of 4. I designed a technology that won silver last year for another company. So, yes, but ecoSPEARS-wise, this is 3 of 3.
See, if you're investors out there, you got to know he's 4 for 4 with his innovations.
That's a good batting average.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, yeah.
And you know, it's interesting because people don't realize how difficult innovation is. I mean, people don't like to fail, but if you're an innovator, you're always failing forward. You're finding a better way.
Yes.
And we love being here in Fort Myers because it's the winter home of Thomas Edison.
Yes.
And that's our namesake.
Yes. And I first came down here to Fort Myers at the Edison Awards and didn't even know about the Edison Ford and Edison estates. And that following summer, I took my family here. I got 3 boys.
Okay.
12. Now they're 12, 9, and 7. And I'm always teaching them about entrepreneurship and innovation. So my main focus is that I say, hey, Dad, we want to create this business of lemonade. My question is, show me a business model to this. Let's break that down. So we start inspiring the youth. You know, what inspires me the most here, especially today, is seeing the next sets of innovators that was on that podium or that stage tonight. One of them was a fellow Filipino presenting from Manila, Philippines, from my home country, and he's going for an incredible mission to provide proper safety and shelter for people that are displaced in the Philippines due to typhoons with quick and deployable tent systems that have its own built-in cleaning UV systems in there. And it just so happens that technology that won last year was a UV technology. So I've already asked the team here to connect me with that young man because I want to help him. Because it's those guys that inspire what we do and what our team does within ecoSPEARS. So let me ask you this. The many years that you've been doing this, what inspires you every single year to continue to do this?
The companies, the teams behind the new innovations inspire us because we realize how difficult that work is.
Yeah.
We know that by showing students that one day they could become an innovator and having the conversation about failing forward with them at an early age, because nobody thinks that's sexy or important. But it's the reality if you're going to become an innovator or an entrepreneur. And the reality of it is you got to get up the next day and start all over again. And not all of your things you win. Not everyone's like you batting 1,000, okay? So what inspires me is a few things. I think it's the inspiration that we can provide. We have 23 countries here. And if you look on the TV, half those countries are probably have conflicts with the rest of the world or with each other. Yet we can all come together and can innovate to make the world a better place. It doesn't matter where you're from. There's a better way because we're part of mankind, humankind. We're all humans. So the younger innovators, Philippines, Edison Awards is a global event. Not only are we looking across the globe for our new product award honorees, but we do it for our Young Edison Challenge as well. Latimer Fellowship is new this year.
Incredible. Incredible.
You know,
Yeah.
we look at something in honor of Louis Latimer, who wrote the original patents for Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell.
Yes.
A black man.
Yeah.
Yes, never recognized. We learned that he doesn't even have a headstone on his grave. So we have to do something about those types of people who aren't being recognized.
Yeah.
So we bit this fellowship, and we're looking for superheroes, people that are doing something that no one else is doing, and we're trying to break down the barriers to get their ideas and their products to market, to get them capital.
Yeah.
Because we all know without capital,
Yeah.
an idea is going to stay an idea.
Yeah.
So motivation, watching the students, looking globally, finding people that are changing the world for all the right reasons.
That's important, right? Because in what you just stated there is that there's only one race, and that's the human race, right? And I say this all the time in talks with Black and Veatch Ignite X, is that, and we had this discussion today with Jason, it's like we're kind of biased because we're for the blue planet, not for the red planet, right? Sorry, Elon and all the other guys trying to go up to the red planet or do the escape hatch from this blue planet. But our core focus as ecoSPEARS is cleaning this blue planet so we have a habitable planet that's healthy. Like I always say to our folks, especially to our investors, ecoSPEARS is not an environmental company that focuses on environmental issues. We're essentially a health company because we're fixing generational health issues due to chemical contamination, right? And that's super.
Say that again.
We are not an environmental company. We're a health company because we're removing the contaminants that impact generational issues. And that leads to health issues, right? If you leave dioxins, if you leave PCBs, if you leave PFAS, I mean, you have been hiding under a rock if you haven't heard of PFAS or AFFF lately, which is the new contaminant that's being heavily regulated by US EPA. And if we thought PCBs was bad, meet the big brother, right? This one is really bad. It's everywhere. So the youth is very inspiring for us. The Latimer Foundation, this is great because now you guys are breaking barriers. I love seeing minorities. I love seeing women in tech. You know, this SPEARS technology, this would not be around if it wasn't for an incredible woman entrepreneur in NASA Kennedy Space Center, Dr. Jackie Quinn, who actually, because she had a hair crimping iron, I don't know if you have a hair crimping iron.
Not at home.
So she read, they had this issue of a challenge of removing PCBs from sediments.
Okay.
She read an article of plastics from the ocean coming up with high levels of chlorinated contamination. So she had an idea. She went to the Sonny's Barbecue restaurant in the bottom of the ONC building, grabbed a few straws, and because she had a hair crimping iron at her desk, crimped one side, filled it with reagent, crimped the other side, put in a stock solution of PCB water, and lo and behold, we had our first version of SPEARS.
Wow.
That was in 2014, and now we're taking these SPEARS and we're deploying it as far west as Guam and Yap, all the way as far northeast as Sweden, and more to come. But that's really the fruits that you get when you break boundaries and bring more diversity into this world. And I think John and Carmichael spoke about that today also, right?
Absolutely. Just to take a few things that you shared, we're talking about global problems.
Yes.
That if we don't fix them,
Yes.
we're in a world of hurt.
Yes.
This is a safe place to have those conversations.
Yes.
And it used to be that corporations didn't want to talk about waste. They didn't want to talk about decontaminants. You heard them up on stage. They're not talking about it. They're changing their whole business models because they realized that not only did they got to fix it, but if they don't do so, they're not going to recruit that next generation of talent that's going to allow those companies to continue.
Yes.
And that talent is very diverse.
Yes.
Diversity, in a lot of ways, is innovation. It goes across every discipline, every race, every religion. And it does so for a lot of the right reasons.
Yes.
It doesn't, we're all part of humankind.
Yeah.
And we've got to realize that. And it starts with having the conversation. And that's what we're doing not only here at the Edison Awards, which is a week, 3-day event, but we're doing it throughout the year in Fort Myers to talk about some of the challenges, whether it be water, whether it be Wi-Fi deserts, whether it be food deserts. I mean, all these things are very important to have a healthy society.
Yeah.
And so we start the conversation, but we also bring the world's leading experts in here to talk about what they're doing so we can learn from them and hopefully inspire the future.
So 2 things. Let us be a part of that. Call on us to be a part of that movement that you're creating.
Okay.
I'm very passionate about using innovation to bridge the gap and also provide true world solutions to true world issues, especially in underserved communities. Because that's who really gets affected the most, right? When natural disasters happen. The other thing is that when you're talking about diversity, we just actually learned this week that the United Nations has asked me to speak on the COP23 panel for PCB elimination.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Using green technology. So now we get to share with the rest of the world what Edison Awards have known about for the last several years now. Now we get to show it in that worldwide event, and just know that you guys are a part of that.
Wonderful.
So.
And we're very proud to be there with you. The UN is a wonderful platform.
It is.
I think we can together get people to start understanding new technologies faster by having some conversations about some of the challenges we have ahead of us, and we need to solve those challenges just like you're doing with ecoSPEARS. And we want to thank you, for continuing to innovate.
I want to end with this, Frank. Thank you so much once again. We want to actually give you your own spear that you get to showcase to folks out there.
Wow.
That this technology, birthed at NASA, Florida raised all the way through, is now impacting the world, because our goal is to inspire others out there in other countries that there's other career paths available, and one of them is sustainability, the other is environmental. And just know that one of the things that we're also wanting to share with the world is that Florida will no longer be just known for Mickey Mouse, space shuttles, and oranges. Florida will be the epicenter for environmental cleanup and for a better tomorrow. And this will just be one of those things that's going to be an instrument for change.
We're here to support you on that journey because we know that not only does Florida, but a lot of places in the region have water issues.
Yes.
And we've got to do better. And we will do better.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.